Good evening. I'm going to call the May 3rd, 2017 Amery City Council meeting to order. Roll call, Fran.
Yes, Strobush.
Here.
Raymond Schneider.
Here.
Paulson.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
Davis.
Here.
And Van Blair come.
Here.
Thank you. Paul Schaefer is going to lead us in the pledge tonight.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have minutes from April 5th, April 16th, and April 25th in your packets. If you would take a look at those, please.
Motion to approve all three.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve all three minutes. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Upcoming events. Paul Schaefer.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I want to talk about an event coming up in August that I think will be exciting to the entire community. However, before I get to that, I want to talk about the spring show, which was held April 7th and 8th. The City of Amery and the Community Club go together to have a booth at the show, and the purpose of the booth is to promote the City of Amery as well as Amery businesses. I want to thank David for helping to organize the booth, Bowens and Chans and the city crew for helping set it up. And finally, a big thank you to all the Amery businesses in the community that, through their generous contributions, help promote our community. At the show, we handed out 175 bags containing a restaurant guide, trail map, Polk County guide, and Amery visitor guide. And one of the features of this booth is a grand prize grill package drawing that everybody comes to the show can put their name in. This package this year was worth about $500, won by Rebecca Martell, who is from Amery. The grand prize featured a grill donated by the community club, a certificate for a variety of meat products from Dennis Lutz at the Amery Meat Market, a wonderful basket of items to complement the grilling season donated by Kay Herman from Outside In, charcoal, lighter fluid, and grilling utensils donated by Todd at Farm and Home Hardware. And of course, with the grill, you got to have some beer. There was 3 12-packs, one each from Super America, Amery Express, and Amery Discount Liquor. To top it off, we gave away 165 gift certificates worth approximately $1,000 donated by 34 Amery businesses, as well as candy bars, pens, and can coolers. So anybody coming to the booth walked away with something because of the generosity of Amery businesses. We did have some promotional bags left. On the 14th, the VFW had a gun show. I went down and handed those out to the 45 exhibitors, so we kind of promoted Amery that weekend also. So again, a big thank you to the businesses that helped promote Amery at the spring show. Now I mentioned an event coming up in Amery in August. WCCO CBS TV out of Minneapolis, St. Paul does a Summer at the Lake segment on weekends in June, July, and August. They go out to communities in their viewing area and feature a different city each weekend during a newscast over 2 different nights. They've been doing this Summer at the Lake for a number of years, and they've visited cities in our Amery, including New Richmond, Rice Lake, and Chautauqua. So I thought, why not Amery? So in October of 2016, I sent an email to Frank Vassalero. I call him Frank. The news anchor at WCCO, and extended an invitation to come to Amery in the summer of 2017. I realize this is very early in the planning process, but I told him I want to throw our hat in the ring. At the time, I also included a list of 25 activities that they could choose from to feature during their visit. I mentioned the focal point of a visit here would recommend they do it on a third weekend of June of a month so they could visit the Music on the River. Free concert, car show, and upwards of 1,000 visitors. Frank, as I call him, responded. I just think it's so funny. Today with email, you can contact anybody and they come back. It's kind of cool. Anyway, he responded. He loved our enthusiasm. He liked the list. He said that WCCO would be selecting cities in March. I should get back to him at that time. He also copied their executive producer, a fellow named Matt Liddy. He said, this is his words, to improve the odds that one of them remembers to champion Amery for the summer. At this time, I also talked to the board of the ADC, the community club, as well as promotions committee to let them know kind of what was going on, and I got very positive comments. So March 7th came. I sent a letter to Frank and his executive producer, Matt Liddy. He responded back, thanks for the reminder. He also copied 4 of his colleagues on that response and said they would be doing their final planning in April. So I didn't want to seem too anxious, so I waited until April 10th to ask them how they were doing on picking some cities. On the 17th, they said, we're coming to Amery. So they're going to be coming to Amery. The weekend, we had kind of hoped for June. That way we could maybe see a bump in tourism in July and August. But they're coming in August. They'll be here the 16th. The executive producer comes, that's a Wednesday, with a photographer. And then 6 additional people come on the 17th and 18th. They're not sure who the on-air people are going to be at this point. They're not sure when they're going to announce their schedule at this point either, so that'll all be coming. I communicated back with Liddy because we sent a list. I mean, you can imagine there's a variety of things that we can do. And so in order to kind of hone in on some things, they start emailing back and forth in June to select things that we want to feature when they're here. I've been invited to the Tourism Commission, the new Tourism Commission meeting on May 9th to talk about this event, and then from there, we'll kind of see where it goes. But it's, for those that have seen the segment, it's, free advertising. It's an opportunity to view, to promote a number of things in your community, from tourism to business to schools and medical facilities and you name it, Main Street. So I think we have an opportunity here to do some things, and I'm looking forward to it. So.
Good.
Might even be Frank, because I think he and the wife have a lake place.
Yeah,
over
that's what we keep hearing.
in Deer Lake, I think.
I've been out on their website and looked at some of their visits and things, and they have fairly significant segments they do, 3-4 minute long type things, and they are leaving. There's nothing bad about this, but one of the things I was kind of hoping would happen, they leave after the 6 o'clock news on Friday the 18th. And of course, that means our feature band that night, Lamont Cranston, doesn't play until 7. So they would be here for the start of this, but not for the end of it type of a thing. But there's generally a pretty good crowd, and the car show, of course, is going on and stuff, so we'll get something there. And of course, it gives us an opportunity to promote the Fall Festival, which will come up in September. So, the thing here is, and I mean, this is somehow have to get some arms around this thing a little bit, but with the Tourism Commission, hopefully we can talk about maybe how to do that, and as far as a point person or point persons and that kind of thing. But so we can plan for this thing and have a really good exposure. So.
Good deal.
Okay.
Super.
Thank you,
Oh, yeah,
Paul,
you bet.
very
My
much
pleasure.
for,
Good work. Good job, Paul.
And I have a face for radio, so that's.
Left to right on your radio dial, right?
we'll look forward to hearing more from you.
You bet.
Judy Johnson from the Amery Area Community Center. Can you top Paul?
I don't think so. That is the best. I've met Frank and Amelia. Yeah, they're nice people. Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here representing Amery Area Community Center and want to bring your attention to 2 different events that we have coming up. Our first event is a Mexican fiesta party that is being held at the center on Thursday, May 11th at 11 a.m. for dinner, followed by music with Dick Armbruster. The cost will be $6 for members and $7 for guests. And if you wear some bright red or green or yellow colors, you will be entered into a drawing for some fun free prizes. Reservations are required. You can contact us at 715-268-6605 by May 8th to assure a spot, and everyone is welcome. Our second event is a fun-filled evening being held at Cricket's Bar and Grill on Friday, May 26th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We are sponsoring the Studebakers Live 50s Band for a great evening of music and dancing. This will be a free will donation event, so come and kick up your heels and enjoy some great 50s music. Hope to see you all there, and I want to thank you for your time and have a great evening.
Thank you, Judy.
Yeah.
Officers' reports. Now, we're short officers tonight, so I think we'll start with Dale Kaler, Fire Chief.
Thank you. Quick report tonight. I did fill out the run sheets for the month. This time of year, you'll see us out and about more with the trucks and stuff, doing different types of training. The notes at the bottom of the annual or the monthly report. I'd like to thank all the people that came to our pancake breakfast, and we run that opposite the Easter egg hunt with the community club. A very positive event again, and we appreciate all your support. And then the only other thing that I had was our boat was out last week for service, a warranty job on the drive on it. So I know we didn't get to train with it last week, but it'll be out and about again this week. So
Okay.
you'll be seeing it around in different bodies of water. That's all I have.
Questions?
Any questions or concerns?
You could use it to chase the geese. It is loud enough, it would scare the geese.
It scares the residents.
Public Works Director.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to remind everybody that May 1st is here. RV Park is open for business. All the amenities are turned on as of last week. The weather kind of changed, so kind of messed things up. Haven't had anybody up there yet. Also, the landfill is officially open this weekend for leaves and brush. As everybody around town probably knows, they started the grinding on the Griffin Street Bridge yesterday. Finished everything up today. Had a few problems, dropped one of the big trucks through a storm drain, so we had a few repairs out there. So if you notice that we had traffic bound up for a while, everything is ready to go. And weather permitting, Monarch will be in here tomorrow, putting on, I'd like to see them put both layers on, but more than likely it'll be the first lift. It isn't very often that they come in and do one lift. They like it to cool and settle before they do the second lift. So hopefully that'll be done tomorrow. Get rid of some of the cones and the obstructions that are out there. Also wanted to mention to the council and that I talked to Jay Griggs. He has $110,000 that he needs to spend by September for a piece of equipment.
Does he want to do electrical work?
Well, that would be nice if he could spend it for that, but I think he's got it designated for some equipment out there. And I know he's been pushing pretty hard for a tractor and a broom. I haven't really done any shopping, and you probably know Rick better than what I do what our percentage of that is.
It's like
It's
5%
like
or
5%
something like that.
on
10,
equipment.
is it 5?
Yeah, it's
5%.
Sounds like an auction.
Yeah.
All right. So at any rate, I'd like to get that on your radar as well. He has 110, so what would our 5% be? $2,000?
5,000 and
5,500.
5,500, there you go, very good. Other than that, Riley's out in force on his mower, grass is growing. Summer's coming. Other than that, nothing else important going on.
Is there anything we could get that would match that broom that's out there?
That's what I'm hoping for. It'd be nice to use that piece of equipment as long as we have it, or maybe we could use that for trade with whatever company we end up with. Also, I know that we've discussed it, and I don't know if we've had a Parks meeting since you and I talked about the posts in North Park.
No,
Okay, I don't know if I should mention it or
sure,
not.
sure.
The white posts that line the park are in real bad shape. Rick asked me to look at some prices. I'm thinking it's roughly, from what I can put together, about $50 a post by the time you get them all installed and everything. So we're looking at taking the ones out only on the south side of the road where the curve is. We'll probably keep the ones in by the campsite so that they're not using the grassy area to park next to the campers and stuff. So if I don't hear anything from anybody in the public objecting to that, we'll probably take the ones out on the south side of the road and see where that goes. If we need to put them back in,
Yeah.
I probably won't throw them away, keep the good ones, and
There ain't any good ones.
that's my opinion too. They've been in there for a lot of years and they're in pretty bad shape. But I figured I'd mention that too as long as we're up here. Nothing else to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonds. I know James Nalen is coaching a soccer game, and our police chief is otherwise occupied.
Painting his car.
No, there was somebody breaking.
So,
into-
No other, all right, so Fran,
Okay.
go ahead with your clerk-treasurer report.
Sure. Just since Tom isn't here, I'm going to take the liberty. I just wanted to mention and talk just briefly about the very, very disappointing incident that happened this week here in the city with the police squad car, squad vehicle and Tom's personal vehicle being vandalized at his home. If you are not already aware of it, both vehicles were keyed extensively, buckets of paint dumped on them. The incident is under investigation by the Polk County Sheriff's Department. So if anyone has any information that might be helpful, we want to urge them to contact the Polk County non-emergency number. That's 715-485-8300. And again, we just want to say how disappointing and unsettling it is that something like that has happened here. And hopefully whoever is behind that will be brought to justice and be made accountable for their actions in that situation. Back to the clerk-treasurer and the acting city administrator items to report on. The liquor licensing packets are out to all of our local establishments who hold liquor licenses to turn back in by the 15th of May. So that season is there. Also, just an update on the Quick Trip project. They did receive their stormwater discharge permit that they were, we had approved them contingent upon getting. They did receive that from Polk County. So that is in the works. I believe they have a closing date of May 17th was the last that I heard. So things are on track and on schedule there. Also, I have been in touch several times with the project manager for the proposed Ron Anderson Hotel project on the river with various items to do with that development. That has a lot of moving parts. So progress is being made and issues being addressed to move forward with that. Also, just an update from the special city council meeting we had where we addressed our problematic things with the expenditure restraint program with the state of Wisconsin. I just wanted to let everybody know, after we hashed that out here that night with the auditors and it was filed, the city did qualify for that payment and we will be receiving that in 2018, and that's $71,000 for the city. So that's certainly significant. Also, just a couple of other things on the horizon. As was mentioned by Paul, the first meeting of the City Tourism Commission will be next week to get that off the ground, get them organized, implement all the new state statutes, do the things we need to do there. Then in addition, we have an application for the city microloan program from a new city business, old location, new type of business. So we're looking forward to that, and they will be meeting on Thursday to address that as well. And I think that pretty much wraps it up for my department for now. Everything else is going to be on the agenda.
Thank you, Fran. David, Management Analyst.
Just have two things tonight. First of all, the water recreation study, which has been, I've talked about for the last couple months. The council meeting is announcing that. As most people know, the surveys for that study were distributed with the first quarter utility bills a little over a week ago. To date, we already have over 200 responses, so I want to thank all of those that have filled out those surveys. While utility bills are due on May 15th, we will be accepting surveys through the month until May 31st. So for those that have not filled out a survey, I encourage you to do so. If you did not receive one, we do encourage all those who reside in Amery and also in the area surrounding and frequent Amery to fill one out. You can pick up a hard copy at City Hall, or you can complete it online at www.amery.gov under the Studies and Master Plans page. Let's see, and those can, if you did fill out a hard copy, those can be returned to City Hall or at the drop box across from City Hall at Sioux Line Park. The only other thing I have to talk about is the city website. We are continuing doing some updates to the website, and one of those major updates I'm going to be working on for the next several weeks is integrating a reservation software for the city structures at the various city parks, including those shelters at North Park, Sioux Line Park, York Park, South Twin Beach, Michael Park, and for campground sites at the North Park Campground. And also, we're also going to be adding to that, I believe the Parks Committee will be in the report a little later. Also, the Danielson stage will be available for reservation as well. So that will be on the city's website. Also, we're going to be integrating the ability for people to pay for those reservations online as well. In addition to that, through the Finance Committee is also approved going ahead and also working on integrating online payments for other fees as well, such as utility bills and court fines. So I will begin continually working through that as well over the next several weeks. Any questions?
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Committee reports, Finance.
Finance Committee met last night, and we had closed session agenda for a good portion of the evening. We went over various items with the department heads in the city as it applied to our personnel manual. We also, in closed session, discussed real estate issues as it relate to upcoming leases. Back into closed session, we had a couple agenda items, and David just discussed the one of them, which was the online payments, and we do have the software already. We already possess the software to do that, and it may consist of quite a bit of time for David to undergo this project, but we're going to undertake the ability to pay online, probably using PayPal. That's the least expensive of all the services. We discussed the custodial services here at the City Hall. Mike Holmes is not going to be doing that anymore. And as a Finance Committee, we felt that that should be done by an independent service as opposed to somebody from the city doing it. So we're going to, Fran is going to make some requests, some RFPs locally to find a new custodian for the inner part of the City Hall. And Bones and his crews will take care of the mowing on the outside. And I think they already have started doing that. Our other item on the agenda was campground fees, and this was an item that we set back in the fall with our budget, so we're going to maintain our fee structure at the campground lease for right now, and we'll evaluate that to see if it if it works. If it doesn't, we may have to adjust our fees later on during the year, but we'll see how it goes the first month or so. And that was pretty much but we did have one other item that we discussed the RFP to recruit a new city administrator, and that's an agenda item that'll be coming up when we go into our regular session here. And that was it.
Questions? Thank you. Parks and Rec, the other rec.
We met April 24th, and we had some I don't know, we don't need to bring the reservation policy to the full council, I don't think, do we? Okay, we talked about reserving the Danielson Pavilion, and decided that $100 fee for that park, not just the pavilion, because we felt there was going to be, if someone wants to reserve the pavilion with the Fishman Pavilion almost adjacent to it, it really includes the whole park. So we put a $100 fee on it. We have had a request for a wedding. I don't remember the date, but they want to do their wedding ceremony, I guess, out at the pavilion.
This is the band shell, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yep, the band shell. And so the reason for the extended amount, because we do have significantly less amounts on our other pavilions and so on, is that there's sound equipment and so on in there, and that $100 includes the use of the sound equipment. But the sound equipment is owned by the community club, and typically they will have to have someone there to set the equipment up, make sure it operates, and then be there at the end to make sure it gets all put back and stored properly. So the $100 fee will be shared with community club for their service on taking care of the sound equipment. So we'll be pretty much in line with our other parks at that rate. A little bit more, but it's a little bit more of a building and so on too. So, and then we talked about, I had an update on the boat landing. The Lakes District is going to contribute $20,000. So we're able to do some in-kind, and there will be a $5 launch fee initiated for the. Is there a box up for the launch we have now?
In truth, I don't know. We had
I-
Go ahead.
I also have new information about charging a launching fee and how that may impact the grant that we're applying for. That was received after the meeting when Amy Kelsey did some research. And we can't, if we charge a launch fee, it has to be the same for everyone, for residents and non-residents alike. Then also, we need to take a look at if we're charging a launch fee, that may offset some grant monies we're eligible for as well. So that will be fleshed out more when
But
they're,
if we don't charge a launch fee, that's gonna offset some monies we're eligible for as well.
Yeah.
exactly.
It's a gotcha.
And this meeting coming up in August in Wausau, that will be with regarding the grant, that will have the program director there. It's a little murky and a little conflicting language that they have, and that will be clarified then.
Yeah, because on one hand, they told us you have a better chance at the grant if you have a launch fee, and now there's.
And they even talk about a specific threshold dollar amount if you charge more than this or less than this, how
Okay.
it's going to impact things as well, so.
Okay.
A big of the issue is that Amy Kelsey pointed out is that there are two different entities. There's the DNR that provides the money, and then there's a different entity that actually chooses who gets it, and so that's where the two different standards come in.
Okay. All right, well, I'm sure we'll be revisiting that at Parks and Rec. Then we had a letter regarding our goose program, and some folks felt that we needed to be doing more. The school is going to begin a program this year to round up geese, and they're going to put some money into it. $3,500 to $5,000 to round up geese. I know there's been a fairly dramatic increase in the number of geese that you see in the city of Amery, but I can attest to you that last fall during hunting season, there were no geese in the city of Amery, or very few, at least in the areas that we have continually been able to hunt in. And we may have identified one more spot that we could do that too. So, it's an ongoing situation. You know, the geese never rest, and so neither can the goose committee. So.
How about, the DNR does allow special hunts other than normal seasons. Have we ever thought about that?
If they do now, that's gotta be something new, cause they did not when we started it 4 years ago. They do allow you to round geese up when the young, when they're in molting so that they can't fly, is the time to do it. I think typically that's when the DNR bans all the geese that they can. And many of the geese that are city of Amery are banded with a Duranda band, so you know, so they're local. Most of them are local geese. You know, the things we have a good situation for the geese. Lots of fresh grass down in Soldiers Field. They don't get harassed too badly most of the time, but I believe the hunting is making a dent on them. We had last year, I don't believe, at least none of the times that I was out, or any of the folks that I know, did we have any geese on the runways at the airport like we have had for a number of years. We didn't have any geese in the first 15 days sitting on South Twin at all. We were on the golf course once, and there were no geese on the golf course. That doesn't mean they don't come in the summertime sometimes, but that's not when we're eligible to shoot them. So, and the school has fairly good success if they can keep somebody running their radio-controlled truck out there after them. So, and I'm not sure how legal that is, but it's effective. So, we'll be continuing to look at that goose management. Then we're going to have a meeting with the Jorgensen Field folks. Softball field has kind of had a hit and a miss policy as to who pays, if anyone pays. If they do pay for using the field, what are the expectations? What are the realities of who takes actual care of the place, and so on. So that will, all the participants have been invited to the next Park and Rec committee meeting, and I expect to have some definitive policy from that. Then we also met, we talked about RV park campground policy, and I think we more or less instructed David to do a survey as far as the rates in the various areas and the amenities that they get for that rate, because we have had some complaints that $40 was too high. So, you know, if we have 3 people at $40 versus 7 at $30, you know, that's something we have to decide to do. And it's ongoing, so we'll, if it looks like it needs it, we'll make the recommendation. And lastly, we talked about the city signage on US Highway 8. There are some information about our sign from the Polk County Highway Department, our Land Information Department. Land Information sent us kind of kind of a nasty letter, if you will. I think that our city sign is out of compliance, it's not in the right, it's in the right of way, it never was permitted, yada, yada, yada. Which is all baloney, because I was there when the sign got put up. And there were people from the sign, from Polk County that were there at the same time that the sign went up. So, you know, you get new people in new positions and all of a sudden policy is new. Suffice it to say, our signs do need some work. We were approached by a business person with a plan to do something. We are currently querying the State Highway Department to see what the possibilities would be as far as if we can do a different type of a sign. It just was a thought process, and I don't know if, we don't know yet, but if you go down the freeway and you see signs that list your town, and then a little bit later on you see another sign that's got a fork and a spoon and a little house on it and a gas pump on it, and then finally as you pull off to exit the highway, it will have several signposts with motels listed on one of them, eating establishments listed on another one, fuel if they want to have it, and also some of the civic, like the Civic Center or something like that. You know, it could be a hockey rink or whatever else. So I'm not sure about costs. We're attempting to get those, find out about those and see, because US 8 is a US highway. So,
I did get a call from the
did you?
official at the agency who regulates the signage there, and at some point this evening when we're all together and we can get a list of dates where the committee can meet again and have all of the stakeholders and officials at the different agencies available to meet again and talk about it. She would like to participate in that meeting as well.
Super. So we're moving forward on that. Other than that, I don't think we had any motionable items.
Okay, thank you. New business, RFPs for a recruitment firm to hire a new city administrator and related budget amendment.
I'd like to make a motion that we table this item because it's not ready for action at this time.
Is there a second?
What does that mean?
That means we don't have all the information available to even pursue the RFP at this time.
Okay, I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded to table the new business item. Any more discussion? Questions? All in favor of tabling?
Aye.
I
Opposed? Carried. We have table number 6.
Do we know when that's going to happen? And because there's kind of a time.
Yes, the committee is going to meet again soon.
Yeah, we would expect no less than, at the very latest, the next city council meeting.
Next, yeah. Okay. Number 7, RFPs for dam inspection and related budget amendment. Is that yours?
It can be.
Yours, mine, ours.
You want Fran to do it?
You have this notification at the very last item on your council packet. We have 3 engineers that responded.
Thank you. We have 3 engineers that responded. Cooper Engineering came in at $2,900. MSA came in at $2,850. SEH came in at $3,250. They're all within $300 roughly of each other. They're all good firms. It's definitely up to the city council. I have confidence in all 3 of them.
And this bonus came out of the DNR told us that we had to have a dam inspection done.
Right,
It comes up every 10 years.
right.
So,
So do we vote on all 3 or you pick one?
Is SEH our city engineer?
We no longer actually have a city engineer.
We've been bidding it out
Yeah.
on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
I think their contract came up, what, a year ago?
Yeah.
And we've been putting everything out to bid.
It was MSA, the middle one?
MSA was the cheapest. They were at $28.50.
MSA is the cheapest, and I think the other big difference is Cooper's in the middle, but they also had the fastest turnaround. Because the big thing about this one isn't just the inspection, it's also, if you look at the reports that you have available for you, if you would like to look at them, is the report that has to be delivered to the DNR. And so I think as Cooper said they could do it within it would have the report to the DNR within 60 days. MSA was within 90 days. And then SEH said they would have it, I think they had a specific date of July 28th.
Who did it last time, Bones, do you know?
Cedar, I believe.
Cedar Corp? And they didn't bid it?
They didn't respond.
Huh.
They were sent notification, but
They did not respond.
Make a motion to approve the bid of MSA Professional Services for $2,850 for dam inspection.
Seconded. Good job.
Motion made and seconded to hire MSA. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Campground fees? That's the third thing here.
I think we're
Going to wait?
we'll table that too.
Okay, we're tabling campground fees too.
We'll come back next month with a motion one way or the other.
Okay.
Okay,
yes.
just on our last motion, I just wanted to interject about the dam inspection, that wasn't a budgeted item this year. And so we should be looking at a budget amendment to pay for the dam inspection that came up. Bones, do you have a line item in mind within your department that may be able to carry the extra expense? It's not a huge expense, it's $3,000, but, procedurally, we should do a budget amendment for that.
Okay.
actually it should only be 1,500 because I'm gonna charge Lincoln half of that.
Half of that?
I know they give us so much, but that's for daily maintenance and operation of the dam.
This would be in addition.
This will be in addition, and I'm sure they won't object to
Yeah,
paying
I'm
half
sure
of
not.
it. And I'm sure I can come up with it someplace, maybe I can steal it out of the street budget.
Okay,
So it doesn't need an
sounds good.
amendment?
Then it doesn't require one, I just wanted to address it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Change of agent for Amery Golf Club.
Yes, they have had their current agent, she's not coming back for this season. And so they have a change in agent, a new agent proposed, it would be Kevin Maupin. Kevin has been the agent there before in the past and run things out at the golf club. So they've submitted the paperwork, paid the $10. He underwent the background check with no issues, so I would recommend that he be approved as the agent.
I so move.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to change the agent at the golf club to Kevin Maupin. More discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Now's the time.
Change of agent for Garibaldie's.
That is a similar situation. They wanted to change their agent as well. The person meets the statutory qualifications to be an agent as far as residency, age. The background check was done and was passed. So, as well, they're in line to get theirs changed.
How come Jesus has two last names? And I'm not talking about the middle name, but Jesus Savidia Sanchez and Jesus Savidia Jordan.
That's typical of Hispanics. They
So-
take the
But-
name of both parents.
But yes, to have two last
I
names,
realize
but
that.
it's Jordan and
Oh, why is it
Sanchez
different?
are different.
I
But
see what
that's
you're
the
saying.
way names are carried down from generation, is that the father's name plus the mother's name goes to the maternal parent.
So you can go either way?
No,
Well,
there's,
that's what this is. Did you look at it?
Yeah, have you take a peek at that?
I saw there was a different name, but,
Did I?
yeah.
If,
Yes, I-
I'm
I'm sure it's the same person.
Sure,
So-
yeah.
Because his second last name is the same.
It could be the son.
Okay. Goes by both
And
of us.
frankly, I don't know if there's any ramifications
I-
that
probably not.
those two names are listed differently or not. You know, not that I'm aware of, you know, frankly, it's not something I caught. And part of the background process, it wasn't caught then. He was here in person with his dad, who is the current agent. It's a father to son.
Oh, maybe that's the
type of-
difference.
Type of change.
Oh, yeah, that's probably the
Type
Father
of
to-
change in
father to
agent,
son.
so that may have something to do with it.
Oh,
But he did qualify.
Okay. That's probably the difference is.
So Sanchez is probably the father and the new one is
Oh,
Jesus.
That should be it.
Cool.
fine, good deal.
Interesting.
Imagine that in your family tree.
so did we have a motion? And
So moved.
Second.
all in favor of changing the agent for Garibaldie's?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 2017-02 Sewer CMAR report. We already done that? No.
This is our annual requirement.
Okay.
The report's completed by Jeff Mahoney and Bones with support. That has to be submitted to the DNR every year and adopted by the city council by resolution. Bones, do you have any comments on the CMR report that you want them to know about?
Nope, it's pretty standard. It's the same thing we do every year. It's part of the DNR's requirements that we promise that we'll take care of the lift stations daily, on a daily basis, and clean 20% of our sewers annually, which we do, and we budget for that every year. So it's really nothing new.
I so move.
Motion made. Second.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to pass the resolution 2017-02 for the sewer report. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item 12, any questions from the public concerning anything on the city council meeting?
Just checking. I have a couple non-agenda questions, but I'll just stick to the agenda questions. The vandalism cost, there's been some question from the public as to, does insurance cover that? I know obviously if they catch someone, there'll be some restitution or whatever, but
What we do is we turn it all into the insurance company and let them all sort it out.
so that hasn't been determined yet.
We're in the process of doing that. We don't have the report from Polk County yet. But we're gathering information and getting estimates, and it's all going to the insurance company.
We do have a deductible, I'm sure.
Yeah, I believe we do. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of how much of it, if it's $500 or $1,000. I'm actually meeting with the city insurance agent tomorrow morning, and that's one of the things that we'll be covering.
Okay.
Along with the city, total renewal of the city insurances that we've been working on for a few weeks. This will be part of that, part of our discussion as well.
Randy, at the Parks and Rec meeting, you didn't know for sure at that point if the school was gonna do their thing that they do, but that is a for sure now?
That's what I've been told.
And what?
But I have not heard that direct from George
Okay.
Sigsworth, so
I
if you
check
wanna,
that.
yeah, if you wanna confirm that.
What was your understanding that they would just manage this directly, the school area?
That they were going to hire a firm, I'm not
For
sure,
the campus specifically, not the
can't say that for sure.
city at large, okay.
Most of the geese during the time that they're not able to fly are in the river, not at the campus. 'Cause, you know, that's when they can catch them, and that's where the DNR rounds them up, is on the river when they do it.
And then the last question was, you said you got a letter about the sign being out of compliance. Which one specifically was out of compliance? Or is it in reference to
They were
both?
talking
Probably all four of them.
specifically about the sign on the west side of 46 Junction.
So the eastbound sign,
It's
not the
on,
one by Parent Simple, but eastbound.
No, the eastbound sign,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
yes, on the north side of the road.
Right, Well, both of them are on the site.
It actually
Yes.
isn't a letter that was addressed to the city. It was a letter that was addressed to the business owner who wants to put up a new sign that we were copied in on. It was not a letter from
Directly to
Polk
us,
County.
So then Peter
To
came to
the
you guys
city.
with it. and
Yeah,
said-
it was a letter to Peter Henry from the county that the county copied us in on.
I understand, okay. I think that's all I have.
Okay. Anybody else?
There is an intent of the Village of Clayton to join our municipal court.
Good deal.
Oh,
Great.
I saw
They'll
that.
be going through that process. They had a council meeting Monday night, and they voted to join Amery Municipal, so we'll be going through that process in the near future.
good. Okay.
Really good.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, before